on the TV. Okay.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Alright, so today we are playing some TAQS. Last time Megan didn't get to play for too long because she had some homework to do. So this time we're going to try and make sure that it's a little bit longer, or at least we get some interesting stuff accomplished. So
maybe I get some clothes.
Oh yeah, you never know. I think James is still running around naked, so.
I don't know.
But one thing I want to point out is that I actually added experience into the game we're playing. As I have mentioned before, this is very beta test oriented. I'm kind of just trying to make this as enjoyable as possible. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know what you think of how the game is playing. But as of right now, I think this is kind of a full game of what I had in mind. So anything else would just kind of be something I wasn't even thinking of. So you can see that we have some experience, and you'll notice that there's a little bit of experience in charisma, but James also actually has 2 levels in charisma now. So the way that this is going to work is if you get 100 times the level that you currently have, you level up to the next level. So he was able to gain 104 experience. Also, if you have 0 and you attempt the thing, you're going to fail, but then on the next time you will have a level. So the way that I'm playing it is that the experience will not be tallied up until the next session. So the entirety of the time that you're playing, if you have 0, you're not going to be doing so well, and you'll have to be a little creative with it. But the fact that you tried will mean that the next time you will have that level to work with.
Question.
Yes.
When you're tallying up the experience and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
are you just like, yeah, this seems like it's about 20, or do you have like talks to a person 10, or like the numbers that you roll?
I'm rating it off of so it's not off of success, because that would cause a problem for people who have low levels.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm kind of getting a ballpark of like how difficult it was, like when the story was happening, and then that is the maximum, and then I pick a random number between there. Hence the fact that none of these are benchmark numbers except for maybe that 50. But so Megan has acquired some experience because the last time she did go on her little mini quest, and we were able to get some story out of that.
Tell them what you named my child. I wanted to name him Emmett, but apparently it rolled low.
So she was insisting that the child be named Emmett, but to my knowledge, you can't just name a child that you meet. So I let her roll for luck. She rolled pretty low. So if we go check out the paint screen, then you can look up here, and this is what she's explored. And this is Amito's house. So it's almost Emmett. It's almost Emmett.
I wasn't saying it as like first person from Miara's point of view, naming him Emmett. I was just giving a fact, like third person omniscient kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But you are not God. So we can see
I
a
am.
bird's eye view of the entire castle at the moment. You can see that Megan has explored. Let me get the pencil just so you can see where my cursor is. Megan has explored this area that is colored in more, and we have the castle border just to give an idea of scale. But this is how far we've gotten in Genovia. So,
Jonovia.
If you need a recap on where we were,
Just call it Genovia. It's not
I'm
Genovia.
gonna call it Genovia if I want to call it Genovia.
It's Jonovia.
So for a recap of where we were when we left off, so Megan had helped a small child find his drunk parents, and then helped them walk home. I'm glad you're accepting your fate.
No.
So she helped the parents walk back to their residence, and that is what we can see here. There's the bar, there's the fountain, and Amito's house. So that's pretty much where we've left off, and I guess...
Am I still at Amito's house?
We can assume that maybe you spent the night at Amito's house.
Okay, that's weird.
Well, I mean, they're probably pretty gracious of your help. So.
No, I was trying to think if I said I wanted to go west, it would take me straight across the top, but I want to go west of the fountain.
Okay, so you want to go back down to the fountain
Yeah.
and go west.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I can just work my way around like a clock.
It's up to you.
But I feel like the castle would be to the left of the...
Andrew, that came on the stream the other day, says that you can totally change a child's name when you meet one. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, but I am glad to get the input from the audience there.
Thank you.
Also,
I'm gonna rename him Emmett once I adopt him in the future and I have money and like a stable stuff.
if you guys are watching, keep me updated if you can't hear something. I know that it's different because she's slightly further away, but then the mic adjusts, so I'm not sure how it sounds.
If you can't hear me, tell me so I can yell at you.
Yeah, I think it's adjusting accordingly, so
Okay.
we should be good. Okay,
Pretty loud
so
anyway.
as of right now, you are at Amito's house. So
Yes.
what would you like to do?
Yeah, let's go west of the fountain.
Okay, so you are walking back down here, and then you have the option, if you're following the path, to go northwest or southwest. But are you saying you just want to go west?
I just have a feeling that like the actual castle is in that chunk. But then I also have the feeling that you're not going to put the castle there because I feel like the castle should be.
Oh, I know where the castle is already. I mean.
Is it to the left?
I'm not gonna tell you. I mean, it should be pretty obvious if you stood in the fountain and perhaps looked around.
I mean, I don't know. I see a little dark thing above the fountain.
It's the beginning of a pathway.
I feel like because it's different, that's probably where the castle is.
It's a pretty good hunch.
Right. I just couldn't tell. It looked like the fountain was wearing a top hat. So
Yeah. I mean, that would be
can't
pretty
really
awesome
see.
if the fountain was wearing a top
I
hat.
can't really see from back here.
Yeah.
You know, I have bad eyes.
Okay, so are you trying to go to the castle?
Yeah,
or-
let's go to the castle.
Okay.
Let's go north. of the
So
fountain.
you're going to the castle, and we can open up.
Can you guys hear me if I'm down here?
Oh yeah, it's got a line where it's adjusting. So.
It's pretty quiet, seems like though.
Yeah,
So
but the
I'll just talk louder.
the mic adjusts for how low the sound is.
Weird. I got
Yeah.
you a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says sounds good to me. 10 out of 10. For the audio. So that's there.
Thank you.
All right. So you are approaching the castle, and you can look around. It's a pretty large castle. Assuming that there is a decently wealthy resident.
Probably the monarchs.
It's almost like a smaller version of the outside castle.
Wouldn't those just be fort walls and not like a legitimate castle? Okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna run the story. I'm gonna wait for you to prompt me.
No, I mean it's your story. You gotta tell me what you're doing, and then I just control the events.
Well, I guess I could go see if like the monarch or the guards need anything. Because
Okay.
maybe by helping them, they'll offer stuff.
So
Clothes.
she's
grain,
looking for stuff.
Clothes, grain, whatever. You know, I can put some clothes on, give myself a bit of like protection. Cause you know how like a freaking loincloth in video games gives you like 0.5 defense, and you're like, yeah. Right now I have like none.
Okay, so you're walking up
It has
to
a
the
mustache.
castle. I don't know. It just kind of looked like a face, so I was like, might as well give the mustache.
So I'm
so-
gonna see if anyone there needs help in exchange for some goods, since I already have a tiny bit of gold.
Okay, so you walk up to the castle, and we are gonna roll. And sadly, it seems that no one is currently around in the foyer of the castle. You are standing
You
alone.
have to go to the throne room, Jono.
Okay, so you.
Wait, can't I use like my charisma or luck or whatever to get like a higher chance?
Well, that's what I'm rolling. You rolled between 0 and 20 and got a 0.
But you said before that if I put like my charm
Okay,
or whatever,
so
that would be the minimum. So I couldn't get
the way that things are working right now is that the minimum maximum thing is only going to be in battles because it's too slow to keep asking for that. So all of the
Well,
random
again,
events are going to be.
throne room.
You're going to the throne room. It seems
I don't
that.
know, am I going to the throne room?
It seems there's a large collection of guards standing and discussing things in the throne room, and there doesn't appear to be the monarch upon the throne, but you can see that the throne is well garnished in flashy material. So
I go sit on the throne. I'm joking. Don't do that. I'm gonna get
standing in a
killed.
room full of guards, you go sit on the well garnished
Naked.
throne.
Naked.
I
That's
mean,
how I
you
seduce
do
them.
have some pretty good charisma.
That's how I seduce them, Jono.
Mm-hmm.
I get them to do my bidding. It's a coup. I'm overthrowing the monarch right now. This is my plan.
Is that what you're doing?
This is I don't know. Roll the numbers. If it's good, then yeah.
Well, I mean, you kind of got to decide if that's what you're doing.
I'm playing it safe. Maybe I'll throw the monarch out later. You know.
After you kidnap a child.
I'm not gonna kidnap him. I'm gonna adopt him. I'm gonna get the blessings from somebody, from some kind of watcher. I don't know. And then I'm gonna adopt him, and I'm gonna name him Emmett. He's gonna be my child.
Okay, so what are you
He's
actually doing in
an
the throne
emergency
room
situation.
if you're not going to plan a coup?
I'm going to find someone, and I might just ask a guard.
Okay, so are you talking to the guards? Or?
I'm gonna ask a guard. I'm gonna request not a viewing. I'm just gonna view the monarch.
A consultation or?
Yeah, that's not the word I'm going for. But yeah.
I know the word you're
hearing,
talking about. Yeah. Okay,
that.
so.
And I'm gonna see if I can get any information from him from that. Like he might be a chatterbox and reveal something extra.
You walk up to the guard and you find that one of them, at the middle of the circle, seems to be somewhat boisterous and talkative, and seems to be spilling some gossip to the actual guards.
Is he wearing a dunce hat?
That is a helmet, ma'am.
Oh. Okay, so he's gossiping to the other guards about what the monarch is doing.
So he is talking to the other guards, and you can slightly overhear that it seems that the guard is talking about a story he heard about two parents who got a little over the edge with intoxication. Yeah.
So that's what he's talking about.
At the moment, to the other guards.
Am I mentioned in it?
So as of right now, he's just talking about the parents.
Is it in good or bad manner?
You're asking a lot of questions.
I need to know how I'm approaching this situation, Jonathan.
It seems that they're talking in a comedic manner about the parents.
Are they concerned about the child at all?
I think they're just kind of laughing about the fact that the parents were drunk and were giving trouble to the bartender.
Huh. They don't mention where the monarch is missing. Okay, how about this? I step forward.
Okay.
And because I have my amazing charisma, this is kind of a battle. You know, this is like a charisma battle, so.
Yeah, that's what I was originally thinking conversations would be, but it ended up going pretty slow, so I wanted to keep the flow of things.
mention that I had handled that situation, and that's why I was here to see the monarch, even though that's kind of a lie, but maybe it'll work out in my favor. And where the monarch may be, and
so
I'll stick with that for now. An audience.
You're requesting an audience with the. Oh, sorry, I forgot that you have this weird beehive kind of thing.
I'm not Marge.
Okay, so
Marge
you
Simpson.
approach
You just
the.
need a little tough.
You approach the
guards.
The guards, and you ask. You mentioned that you have. You were the person who was able to remedy the situation with the drunkards at the bar. This immediately gets all of the guards' attention. Perhaps it wasn't exactly what you were saying, but the fact that you are completely naked.
I don't have
but
genitalia, though. I don't
you
have
you then request to have an audience with the monarch, and it seems that everybody in the group is sort of fumbling over themselves to be the one that leads you to the monarch, but...
So that would have been the perfect opportunity for me to throw a coup, is what you're telling me.
But
I could have become the ruler of this kingdom immediately.
But the before-mentioned talkative one is the one that does actually step out and say that he can lead you to the monarch.
What's his attractiveness? Scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, he is an 8.
Keeping that in mind.
Okay, so...
It's the important things, guys. I'm so mad. I should have become the monarch. I should have gone for it, Jono.
So we're talking with this young guard who is pretty attractive, if we're saying so, and his name is Marion.
No. No, I get to pick a name, and you get to tell me your name. It's not Marion. I'll figure one out.
Well, we kind of need it for the conversation. That's why it was kind of just something that is picked.
He could just be captain of the guard, and the queen can just refer to him as captain.
How about you're not telling the story, Megan?
How about you told me I get to choose?
No, you get to choose where you go, but I choose the events. That's how the game works.
I'm gonna opt to change his name later.
I mean, you could just pick a nickname for him.
I'm not calling him Mary.
You don't have to have a nickname that fits your name. Like, I know a guy named Fudge.
I'm gonna call him Ari.
You're gonna call him Ari?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see if Ari's watching this.
Oh, is there a friend named Ari? Wait, yes, there is. JK, I knew that.
I lived
sorry.
with someone named Ari.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay,
I
so
remember now.
Mary for short.
I was thinking Mary or Anne or Bree, and I was like, these are all girl-sounding names.
Okay, so
Ari.
Marion walks
Ari.
with you and brings you across the hall into a separate chamber. It seems that this chamber is a library.
Where's
So
the library?
you enter the library, and there is not much noise. It's a pretty calm library, but it seems that there is someone that is currently in a chair towards the back of the library, reading some text.
That is a beautiful chair. Dude, I feel like I lost. I already lost.
Why? Because you didn't throw a coup?
Yeah! So I was gonna play it. If I threw a coup, I could demand those parents to give me Emmett.
That would be kidnapping. You said you weren't gonna kidnap him.
No, but I would pay them off, and they would be so
You're just
happy.
gonna buy a child.
Yes,
okay.
that's adopting, Jono.
Uh-huh.
That's how adopting works, okay? And he will be graced you know, he'll be honored to be raised in the castle with a silver spoon in his mouth. He'll be taken care of by me, not a maid, not a maiden, nothing like that. And he can visit his parents on weekends if they're not falling over themselves. I should have thrown a coup.
Okay, so you enter the library with Marion, and you notice that there is the monarch sitting in a chair in the back reading some text, and you are now standing in the library.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Ari to wait outside there.
Okay, so you ask the guard to wait outside. Sadly, he says that he must attend with the people as they approach the monarch.
I can't kill her. I have no way to store a weapon.
You know, you gotta cover all the bases. So you both approach the monarch.
And she shrinks as we walk toward her.
Let's not consider perspective.
I'm going
if it makes you feel better, I can make you guys smaller, and
Oh,
then it will shred you to pieces
hold on, wait.
because paint.
I'm going to offer my services, not as a prostitute. I mean, if need be, but no.
So
She
you
needs any help.
you offer your services to the monarch, and she does say that she does have a something that has been troubling her. So she goes on to tell you that there has been a specific group of younger people in one of the local neighborhoods within the castle
And they're
that have been.
listening to their hip-hop musics.
No, they've been just causing some ruckus and vandalizing a few things here and there. Sadly, with all of the work that she has, she cannot go speak to them, but she needs someone with your specific skills to go talk with these people and see what is the problem and what can be the remedy.
Agree in exchange for some goods.
So you say that you
Some basic goods.
would like to take on this task, and she says that you will be heavily rewarded if you are successful with completing this task.
Okay.
Let's complete the task.
Okay, so
Thank her for her time, obviously. I need to thank her for her time.
of course.
And mention that it's an honor to be in her presence.
She says that it is an honor to be in yours.
Oh, fuck yeah! 3 minutes ago I was gonna overthrow her, and now it's an honor to be in her presence. It's playing the game, John. I should have overthrown her. You could, like, look at James and be like, yeah, well, guess where Megan's at? And he'd be like, what? He'd be like, she's ruling a kingdom. He'd be like, what?
I don't know, Megan. James threw a rock at an old lady, so.
No, he's not taking over my kingdom. I
I
know it's not mine yet. I don't even know if they can read that from where I am.
I mean, they can see you.
I couldn't tell how much they could see of me.
All of you. You're a pretty small person.
Okay. So we're leaving the castle now.
Alright, so you are exiting the castle. I'm going to pull out the world map. Oh, sorry, not the world map. The Genovia map. Alright, so here we have the castle. Just to give you some bearings as I quickly draw these. Obviously, as I've mentioned before, everything will be cleaned up post-stream. It's just difficult to
That works for the
speed
castle
draw
right now.
everything. I'll try to make it similar to the shape of what I had in the drawing. So
Fancy. It looks like an ice cream cone.
you're an ice cream cone.
Thank you.
I was saying urine ice cream cone.
Delicious.
Okay, so you are now exiting the castle, and you still have Marion at your side.
Oh, he's still with me? Okay. Where were those hoodlums?
She just mentioned that they were in a neighborhood. You didn't
Within the
really
kingdom.
pry for more information, so.
Was going to, and then I decided to leave it where it was. I guess we search around while getting to know him. I need to know if he's a suitable mate.
Okay, so just an update on some of the things I was going to check for awareness. So Megan has 15 awareness.
Woo! Miara has it. I'm not that aware.
You are aware of her awareness. I'm not sure what that was.
Me either.
So you look around and you notice that you are now facing towards the fountain, right?
Okay.
So you look over to the right and you see what seems to be some sort of a manufacturing area with mills and other building materials. To your left is Amito's small village. To your far right seems to be a somewhat wealthier neighborhood, and to your far left seems to be farmland with some pastures and animals.
I'm gonna say Amito's village.
Okay, so you're walking.
First. We're gonna check that first.
You're walking up to Amito's village, and so.
Ooh. Yeah, go there. Because if they're not there, they're probably in the wealthy neighborhood because, you know.
So you look around and you do see that there are some people walking around, and when you look around, you see that there isn't too much of a sketchy feeling around, with people just sort of walking about their daily tasks, whether they be walking into town or walking out.
Okay. Am I getting to know Ari at all?
I don't know. Do you want to ask him something?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was just gonna have a standard conversation with him. I just want to know if it's a good conversation. Does he seem short-tempered, or does he?
He seems to be very interested in talking to you, with everything that you say, but is not really adding too much to the conversation. But then,
I'll try again.
but then, as you begin to ask more questions, he seems to open up and start telling you his entire life story, about how he was taken in by the guards when he was younger, and he now is training to be high up in the guard, but is currently on some probation for leaking information, because of his blabbermouth
Cover
nature.
his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Cut him off. Cover his mouth.
So you cover his
I
mouth.
want to make sure he's able to keep his job.
Mm-hmm. So you cover his mouth, and he seems to get the message.
I do it kindly. I don't do it rudely. I do it as a way to be like, don't worry about it. Like, just
Yeah, no, he understands.
keep your job, man. I had a headcanon there for a second. I was like, oh my god, maybe he's Emmett's older brother. But then I was like, why would he be laughing about the drunk parents? That doesn't work. Because that would be perfect. Taking the child. You can just get married, taking the child. Let's go to the wealthy neighborhood.
Okay, so you venture on down to the wealthy neighborhood over here. So I'm going to draw something over here. And you start to see some larger, so I should probably I'll edit that later. So you start to see some larger estates with their large stereotypical house shape, and they it seems that most have some larger yards as you get closer, as you get further away from the fountain. It seems that the actual plots of land are significantly larger, but the closer you are to the middle of the castle, it seems that there is some more condensed areas and somewhat suburban areas. I'm actually going to turn the light on. It's starting to get kind of dark.
Yeah. My feet need lotion.
They'll match your face.
Oh, I thought you meant like my face was all gross. I was like, thanks.
No, because it smells like old people.
My face smells like old people, guys. 'Cause lotion!
It smells like old guys. That's what you said. My face smells like old people guys.
Those people guys, though, man.
Yeah, they're my favorite. People guys?
So we're gonna walk through the alleyways of the more condensed houses because they're more out of the eyes of people. We're gonna go investigate, see if there's anything going on, any kind of vandalism.
Okay, so you start to walk through the more condensed areas, and you start to notice that there is actually some vandalism, whether it be a broken window here or there, or perhaps some writing that is on the wall of a couple of the buildings.
Okay. With you describing how distracted Ari was there, can I use my charm to turn off my charm? Like, is there any way I can convince him to just be more relaxed around me? Because I need him to be focused on our surroundings and help me figure out.
So you
And be aware in case if
you give him a pep talk on being focused, and it seems that it gets the word across because he now is very attentive to his surroundings as opposed to being attentive to you.
I like being in control. This is like Sims.
I figured you would like a game like this, considering how much you like Sims.
I'm already planning that. I don't know. I really want him to be Emmett's brother. I'm still calling him Emmett. Okay. If I can have a nickname.
Emmett is short for Amico.
I was like, if I can.
How did she open the door?
Did you just learn how to use a handle?
I'm not really sure what just happened, but the dog is now in the room.
You're wet. You had your bath. She's already in here. Just let her. Hi, puppy. Just leave. She's gonna come back in. She's gonna go. Just leave it. I just figured if I can have a nickname for Marion, I can have a nickname for Amito.
Well, yes, that is true to what I said. So.
Oh, thank you. I really want them to be brothers. Maybe he just. I have a way to still make them brothers. Okay. So they're gonna be brothers, and then him and I are gonna get married. I'm gonna rule the kingdom, and we're gonna take in his younger brother. So far away.
You can just marry both of their parents.
I don't want any of that. I don't want to deal with that. I know. So yeah, we're attentive and focusing on what kind of symbols are.
So
with on the wall.
With Emmett now being also focused on the plan, you have a temporary 3 extra awareness to work with.
And what about attack?
Huh? I mean, Emmett's attack is Emmett's attack, but you.
It's not Emmett.
Oh yeah, Marion. So yeah, we'll get there when we get there, but.
I'm just making sure that will be.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is he has his own turn. This is just kind of adding to the collective party's awareness.
I'm gonna lose it if he dies, John. I'm already emotionally attached
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm like already tearing up.
You already made a nickname for him. That's like the Nuzlocke thing in Pokemon. You have to name them so that you're more emotionally attached, and then when they die, you get sad.
Faint.
You have to release them in a Nuzlocke immediately. If they ever faint, you have to get rid of them.
That's sucky.
Yeah. Okay, so you're both looking around the town, and as I mentioned before, you can see signs of vandalism within the or upon the buildings that are around the slightly more condensed areas.
Okay. So we are gonna investigate. I'm not gonna go into like crazy specifics, but overall, witness statements of the broken windows, like people who live in those residences, the stuff that is being vandalized onto the walls. And I don't know. I really should have asked the queen about more information about these people vandalizing stuff. But I figured if she hasn't been out there, she doesn't know what they really look like or anything, so she couldn't really give that info. So I have no idea who we're really looking for. The hours that these vandalizes are happening.
Okay, so you go and you begin to survey the surroundings and talking to some of the people who seem to have some damage on their place of residency, and you do actually get a lot of valuable information from these people after just sort of knocking on some doors and talking to them. You are able to acquire the information that the young people who seem to be doing this are coming from outside of the castle in the night, and there seems to be a decent amount, perhaps 2 canoes worth of people that are doing this vandalization.
So like 6 people.
Yeah,
Six to eight.
6 to 8 people are involved in this vandalization.
I know how many people are a canoe's worth, guys. I know this unit of measurement.
She's dating me. She has to know what a canoe is.
I have to know how many canoes of people there are. And it's been happening at night?
Yes.
What time is it?
It's about, I would say, midday.
Midday. So we have time to both return to the castle to update the monarch, queen, king, whomever, of our newfound information and get with the guard to plan, not like an attack, but maybe not get with the guard, but we're going to update the monarch.
So you don't want to get with the guard?
Not all of the guard.
Oh, okay.
Maybe when I throw the coup. However, it's business, guys. Come on. Ari and Miara will stake out at the gate.
Okay.
In the evening to watch and encounter these delinquents.
So
probably led by James.
You go back to the castle, and you find that the monarch is currently no longer in the library and is perhaps out and about doing her daily rounds, but you are able to find there is an assistant with the help of Marion guiding you through the castle that you can relay this information to. So the assistant seems to take very powerful understanding of the situation and tells you that they will relay the information on to the monarch, but then you and Marion begin to set out towards planning your...
How honest is the assistant?
Very honest.
Very honest, trustworthy person?
Yes.
Fine. Just gonna kill her right there if I could. So yeah, we don't need many weapons or anything. However, we will need I mean, they are
young
delinquent.
people.
Delinquents, but they're younger. They're not like old and experienced. They're not like Ra's al Ghul. Fucking like, sorry. I don't know. Maybe they do. But
Basically, it's not 6 to 8 Liam Neesons.
yes, yeah, we're not going up against craziness here, okay? So I feel like with his sword, threatening them, and with my charisma, all we're gonna need is
And whatever that was.
that was my charisma.
Oh, okay.
That was my. Anyway,
So
perhaps something to not entrap them with, but like if we need to take them in, like not handcuffs, because I don't think handcuffs were really used in medieval times, but rope. Let's get some rope.
I mean, they had
Tie
the
and bind their hands.
they had the it
We're
wasn't
not giving
handcuffs,
stocks.
but yeah, that's the
We can't
equivalent
bring
of
them back to the monarch if
Mhm.
they're in stocks.
Mhm.
Although we could put them in stocks and let people throw tomatoes at them. Let's do that. They're out of towners. Let's get them in some stocks. Right by the fountain there, if we happen to catch them. But yeah, I think with my charisma and his sword skill, we might just be able to either talk them out of it and have them leave, or throw them in stocks.
Okay. So
Ask what their issues are, that kind of thing.
is there any
Creative thing.
specific place you want to stake out, or you said you were going to wait at the gate?
Yeah, because there's just like one entry point to the kingdom, right?
There's some side entrances in the specific sectors. There's one main entrance.
Place a guard. Yeah, me and Ari will take up the main entrance. Place a guard at each of the other entrances and give them like a whistle or some kind of thing. And each one can have a distinct sound. And if they come through one of the side gates, we can go that direction. That's my plan of attack work.
So sadly, there isn't a local whistle shop or
We can have a whistle. They can make their own sound, but
Okay, so you wait out the night, and you are at the main gate, but it seems that there is no activity going on at the main gate, and you don't hear any calls from any of the perimeter guards, because due to the fact that the castle is quite large, and you are not able to hear amongst the din of the night. The
we couldn't
sound
get
is
some instruments
drowned
or some
out.
shit.
You didn't say that.
I just thought about it. Go back. Go back.
No,
Gotta give them
it's the
flutes.
next morning.
Did more crap happen? Is a guard dead?
There seems to be that one of the guards was involved in trying to track down the young adults or the youngins, but he was unsuccessful to track them down once they were into the castle, and there is now a
Let's say
new
castle. Kingdom
broken.
Or castle?
So there's a little castle, but it's still a big giant castle like that.
It's a kingdom.
Okay.
Okay.
A kingdom's usually like the surrounding area too. Like that's what you
Oh.
govern over, and the castle is like the actual place, like the
Okay.
building.
So there's another broken window.
So there's a new broken window in the suburban area.
Which gate?
So the officer says that it was the gate closest to that area.
The west gate. Makes sense. Fine, we're gonna switch with that guard
Okay,
for
so
the next night. We're gonna watch again. And we're gonna provide instruments.
so you
a
give
high whistled flute.
you
I can't
go
whistle.
to the local shop in
We
around
don't
the
have
fountain.
to pay. We don't have to pay because it's the queen's orders. It's the monarch's orders. Sorry, I'm not gonna assume that it's a queen.
the shopkeep seems to be somewhat reluctant with giving up his 2 flutes that he has in his store.
Two.
That's all there's there.
Fine, we'll give them to the south and east gates, or north and east gates.
Okay, so the main gate and the rear gate.
No.
Oh, east?
I said, yeah, I changed it. I said
Okay.
south, I meant north and east.
North.
And east. Yeah, it's a little too obvious coming through the main gate.
Okay.
We're still going to place a guard there. Maybe give him a big war drum.
There is a smaller drum, but it seems that it will get the job done.
Okay. 2 flutes and a drum. That works.
Okay, so you stake out at the west gate for the next night, and it does seem that you can notice the young people walking through a small crack in the wall to slightly north of the west gate.
Okay. You're going to follow them, but wait. What do the young people look like? Are they all males?
So you look and
I
you
need to know my
find that
approach.
there is a decent spread of genders, and they're also apparently they seem to be relatively reasonably clothed, although there is some tattering in their attire. They all seem to be what would be considered working class, or perhaps farmers of the land.
Corner them. For me, a little more threatening.
Okay, so you do manage to cut them off and get them into an alleyway where there is no escape. You stand there with Marion the guard, now pointing his sword somewhat as to say not to move.
Toward their feet. Okay. I'm assuming they halt.
Yes. They're kind of just stuck. They're backed into an alley.
Ask why they're coming to our kingdom.
So you propose the question of why they are coming into the community, and some of them seem to snicker a little bit, but one does mention that they are somewhat of a resistance to the monarch structure.
Okay, so they don't like a monarchy. They want it to be more like a...
So these would be people from the kingdom, but not from within the castle. To go back to our previous
Gotcha.
conversation.
Ask what their problems are. Like, with it.
So you ask them to explain their problems, and they all sort of in turn mention one thing here and there that they are upset with, but the main thing seems to be that there is not so much support and resources for the surrounding communities as there is for the actual castle itself.
Offer your help to them in exchange for no longer vandalizing. Like, propose, like, hey, if you stop destroying crap, we can get you an edge. I can fight for some resources for you guys. I will bring up your problems to the monarch. But you need to stop. If this continues, we will take further action.
You propose your idea to them, and they seem that they sort of say yeah, but then it doesn't really seem like the message gets across to them.
I have blacked out eyes, right? I had that purposely for the fact of staring into people's souls and giving them pure terror. So I'm gonna grab the leader of that pack by their collar. The fucking work?
They all pull out small weapons and start to move in towards you, seeming to want to attack.
So it didn't work.
I'd say no.
I only grabbed the leader.
Well, you rolled a 0 out of 30, so
How the fuck did I roll a 0, Jono?
it's
This is a battling type of situation. I should.
now it is a battle. Now there is let's see.
Well, I command
There
them to
is
stop.
7 of them, and your command seems to
With-
halt them in their tracks for a
Okay.
second.
Ari also needs to raise his sword. Tell them to stop. Tell them to take it seriously.
They seem to not necessarily care about Ari at all, considering that they are rebelling against the forces that the Guard stands for.
Dodge and knock the weapons out of their hands.
Okay,
Both
so
of us. Both of us.
we gotta pull up. Hold on.
I don't want to just like attack and murder people. Like I don't. That's not what I'm about.
So we have. I'm just kind of setting the scene for the.
Why the fuck do they not want to listen? Like why are they just like you're offering your help, but we don't care.
So there's 6 of them, and I said there were 7. So there's one more person. And then there's you.
Tiny head there.
Well, I mean, they're not all of the same size.
Saying that's the leader. You can tell because he has a small mind. Looks like a turd on my head.
You don't have a turd on your head?
No, John, it's supposed to be pretty twisted hair.
Well, I mean, that's about as pretty and twisted as it gets.
Okay,
It's pretty
he
twisted.
has a sword. Ari has a sword. Why didn't I give ourselves an instrument so that the other guard can meet up with us?
I don't know.
I'm an idiot. I planned so well for everything else.
Okay, so let's see some stats.
What is that? Is that Patrick's
You're not
sword?
supposed to see these. So
Okay.
that's just letting you know that.
Okay, I can't really see him anyway, so.
So they all have little weapons, whether they be small handmade clubs or some sort of shiv, but you attempt to. You said you were trying to dodge the.
Dodge any attack? Because my first thing is try to knock out some weapons from their hands right away. Preferably the knives. I can take bruises and stuff, but a cut is a little bit harder to heal. So if that comes into play, go for the knives first. However, I'm just trying to keep it generalized and go for the weapons. Just try to dodge attack, knock out the weapons.
Okay, so hold on.
So that they're in a little bit of a tighter spot there.
All right, so you attempt to knock their weapons out from their hands, and you are somewhat successful. Now 3 of them are unarmed. So there is still 4 that have weapons, and Marion also attempts to knock some of the weapons out, and he is able to corral the other four to knock their weapons onto the ground.
Okay. So the weapons are gone. They are unable to pick them back up. So we raise the sword higher. We get closer. We stress the fact that we are willing to help if they stop all the nonsense.
They seem to understand the situation slightly more now that they are in a non-attacking position, and they do seem to be some of the people other than the leader are kind of staring down at their feet in somewhat of defeat.
Okay. Ask if there are ingredients.
They all kind of mumble in a sort of unpassionate way, but they say yes, and they seem to be sincere in their mentioning of it.
Explain that we are not trying to suppress them. We legitimately want to help, but we can't help if they're attacking us. So, what kind of resources do they need? What do I need to request from the monarch?
They say that they would like to speak directly with the monarch if possible, but they mention slightly that they are low on food and somewhat low on building resources.
Okay. We collect them with the rope that we've brought with us. We, tie them up. They're bound. We're heading back to the castle. So we're gonna call the guard back from the north gate. He's gonna blow his flute so that they all know that we're all good to go. We've got the people, and the other two can come back to the castle. I know it doesn't really matter. I just don't want to leave them out there all night. So we're all headed back to the castle, and we go to look for the monarch.
Okay, so you.
Because the other guards are joining up with us to keep them all in line and make sure none of them try to break out. So I guess it does matter. I've called them back to help me and Ari.
You enter the foyer of the castle with the big chair.
The big chair. Oh, it's such a fancy chair. Yeah.
I mean, it is the throne, right?
Yeah, fancy chair. Ta-da!
You didn't sit in it. It's no longer. It's not your chair. I mean.
I should have sat in it.
Okay, so I mean, it kind of looks like a baby right now, but you all pile into the foyer, and you are now standing with the guards escorting the group of hoodlums. Oh, that's gonna be somewhat like that. And these are guards, not gnomes. So the guards are escorting the hoodlums with their swords at the ready in case they need to keep anyone in line. But you are now standing in the main room of the castle with Marion and the rest of his crew.
To relieve the stress on them, as soon as you're done drawing, we're going to untie the ropes. However, the guards will continue to stand watch.
Okay. They seem to be in compliance, considering the amount of guards around them, and they don't leave, but they do seem to be somewhat thankful for being freed of their bindings.
I'm just thinking about stuff.
Do you want to go get the monarch, or?
Oh, I thought she was coming to the room.
I mean, you guys just showed up. Right?
I figured you were gonna draw her into the chair. I didn't.
Oh, she is in the chair.
Thank you. Thank you, charisma.
That was luck.
Fine. Thank you, luck. I need some of that in my real life. Man, I really want this job. You already have it.
Apparently, she's huge too. I don't know. I think this is more of a caricature based off of like the influence that they
They're
hold.
possessed, yeah.
Yeah.
And I will step forward along with Ari to speak. Because he doesn't need to speak. However, I need him to stand with me because she is one of his most trusted guards.
She is one of his most trusted guards.
He is one of her most trusted.
I mean, he's working up through the ranks, and he's also exalted
fine.
information on many occasions. So,
However, he's honest in that respect,
I guess.
and he's been through the journey with me, and therefore has helped bring conclusions. I hope to God this does not get him fired. So we step forward, and Miara speaks, saying that the perpetrators were caught. However, they had come to an agreement, and if she would, explain their situation, that they aren't getting the resources they need to provide the work that they are being asked to do. No, they're running out of resources, they're running out of food, and they feel as though they're being ignored. Request if she can begin to provide more of these items outside of the inner walls, so that they may thrive and prosper slightly more.
Okay, so
kind of argue for them.
you talk and you play the side of wanting to support these people with their quarries, and the queen seems to be somewhat distasteful that these people who have been ravaging the urban areas are standing in her foyer, but she does seem to understand the situation and says that she will talk with them in order to make sure that the resources can be distributed accordingly.
Also suggest that they fix everything that they messed up.
She does take this idea very strongly and then deems it to be so.
Cool.
So,
situation handled? Question mark. Give Ari my phone number.
I don't know if there's phones, but maybe you can.
Give him a horn to blow.
Yeah, you can give him one of the flutes.
No, I was gonna return those actually to the music store, because if we need anything in the future, maybe it'll score some extra points.
Okay, so you.
For whatever reason, if we
the
need
queen
more music for our
thanks
wedding
you
reception.
for your services and gives you a large chest full of gold pieces that is filled with, let's see.
Well, you said it's full of gold pieces. If it's full of gold pieces, I can go fucking buy my own shit.
There seems to be 500 gold pieces in
Beautiful.
the.
I got 50 from helping Emmett, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 500 gold pieces. Okay.
And to be honest, we are on an hour of streaming, and this seems like it's a pretty good stopping point.
No, I was gonna stop with getting my reward and returning the instruments.
Is there anything you want to do before we wrap it up here, or?
I definitely want to let Ari know in the story that if he needs me, not like in that way, but like if there's any more help, that I'm your girl.
He seems to take the information to heart and says that he will definitely be contacting you if he needs you in any way.
Oh, yeah.
And he also seems to give you some sort of a wink as he walks back to his post.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's where we're
Okay.
going to end it off. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I know we had a little bit of an audience going. It's kind of hard to keep track of the chat
Sorry if
with
I'm
the way I
a
have it set up.
less fun than others. I take my stories very seriously.
No, this is the normal flow of
Okay.
the game. So
I feel like everyone else is just more spontaneous.
I don't know. James might be a little bit more experienced with the
Yeah.
style of gameplay, but you with Sims, you kind of
And
know
my
what you're
writing,
doing. Okay, so as I said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry there wasn't more streams this weekend. I didn't have a topic I wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to necessarily force something out because it tends to not come out too well.
Yeah.
So I will be streaming on Tuesday, hopefully with another cover, and then of course on Thursday with the stock market. If you haven't voted, go vote because the
I'm falling
market.
behind.
Well, no, you're still in first, but the market did take a pretty big hit last week.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I saw.
that's all for now, and I will be signing off. But until later, goodbye.